People who are experiencing homelessness around the world should be provided with housing. Did you know that in one day, more than 500,000 Americans experience homelessness, and up to 10.5% of the American population experiences homelessness in 1 year? The first reason for giving housing to the homeless is that it can give them the tools to break the cycle of homelessness. According to the Washington Post, providing housing and services rather than putting them in jail actually eases their addiction. It has also saved millions from emergency room costs. Another author from HousingMatters.org states that support helps people keep their homes, battle their demons, and adapt to independent living so that they can get back on their feet. This evidence proves providing housing for the homeless can give them the help they need to get back to a better life. Another reason they should be provided with housing is people experiencing homelessness deserve more respect than what they are receiving. JusticeRevival.org says we help victims of natural disaster without questioning merit or worthiness. Homeless is just a dire. None of us are immune to homelessness. One illness or death in the family, the loss of a savings account, or the scourge of depression can render any of us unexpectedly vulnerable. Some people treat them poorly because they think that they have an addiction or did something to themselves to make them homeless. Another author from NPR.org shows that the statement is false by talking about a man's story. 12 years of drugs and alcohol is how Cunningham says he became homeless, but there's a bit more to his story. A career as a firefighting smoke jumper left him with physical disabilities. He lost his son to suicide and then his wife to cancer. People experiencing homelessness don't always have an addiction that makes them homeless, and there are a lot of other things that factor into them not having somewhere to live. The final reason that they should be provided with housing is that homeless people are getting arrested, and it makes it harder for the people experiencing homelessness to start building a healthy life again. JusticeRevival.org explains this means an end to threatening or punishing homeless people for doing things in public that every person needs to do, like sleeping, sheltering oneself, or even asking for help. Any criminal punishment is key because disciplinary measures leave homeless people less able to access jobs, housing, and education after being fined or jailed, making the cycle all more vicious. The Post also explains that this does not only affect people experiencing homelessness, but others too. In addition, police were distracted from responding to actual crimes by having to enforce these laws. Because warehousing someone in jail or sending him or her to the emergency room is much more expensive than providing housing treatment, the burden of enforcement falls heavily on taxpayers too. Some people have opinions about this. They think that homeless people should have to pass a drug test or get a job before being able to be in one of the houses. Housing First fails to address the root causes of homelessness, such as addiction, mental illness, and poverty. The government should encourage self-sufficiency by requiring homeless people to meet the standards, like passing a drug test or securing jobs before providing housing. This is what housing advocates call a low-barrier shelter, with few rules and requirements to get in. There are some behavioral rules. You can't be violent or do drugs on the premises. Not all reasons for being homeless have something to do with addiction or mental illness. Some of the main reasons for homelessness have to do with unaffordable housing or low wages. These are the reasons Housing First can help with those in need.